Subatomic JS, your minimalistic JavaScript framework with pre-rendering and server-side rendering for creating dynamic web apps. Now, we know that web development with JavaScript can be pretty confusing. For example, we all just learned React until we came to the sad realization that it was slow, did not have any SEO, and we got very sad. And then we learned Next.js, which solves the problem with server-side rendering. But what Subatomic JS does better than Next.js is that it actually uses pre-rendering, and all of its interactivity requires very little JavaScript code. That way, you can have your content pre-rendered, and it can get easily sent to the client with not that much time whatsoever. And don't forget, this also means that all these crawlers and bots will be able to see your dynamic content before it's rendered on the client. And the result of this obviously being extremely great performance and SEO along with these best practices. And it's still very simple to code in. As you can see, I can just get straight out of the box interactivity with JSX syntax and a slightly different syntax, but it's also a lot more intuitive in a lot of different ways. Let's get right into it. To create your app, all you have to do is npx create subatomic app at latest, and then after typing your app name, I'm just gonna make it demo, and just for now I'm gonna say yes to Tailwind and no to TypeScript. Now we just have to wait. Okay, now all I have to do is cd demo and the npm run start, and then we should be able to visit our app in very little time at localhost 3001. Okay, so now let's do this. Localhost 3001, and voila, we have our very ugly app. Okay, so now this is just a bunch of stuff that Subatomic JS can already do, but I'm going to get rid of that, and instead let's just create something very simple by scratch. Let's just say I want to create a to-do list. This is a very simple app that's done a lot. Now I'm not going to go make this too complicated, so first of all I would want to put an input. Now, Subatomic JS does not use your normal JSX syntax because it doesn't have stuff like on change. That doesn't exist. Instead, we have stuff on input, which will still work. So let's just change that, and then now we just create a callback function, and now we can just do something like console.log on input. So now we have this input box, and then whenever you change it, you get a log to the console. But now let's actually make it do something. So first of all, we need to define some state. So we'll just create our to-dos as an empty array at first. Let's get rid of this code we don't need yet. And now what we're gonna do is just basically like normal, just map over all of them. So we can just say variables.todos.map, and then you can just do something like that. And now we can do now we can just create a submit button. So we can just create a button and just say submit, and we can just make it so on click. And obviously all of these attributes are just your simple HTML attributes and no weird spelling. I'll just say variables.todos.push title variables.input. Now this obviously won't work, but what we can do, and if you don't want to keep track of state, is you can just use your default query selectors. So I can just say boom, and this should be able to work. And obviously, you can never forget that you always have to render your code afterwards to make sure these changes are actually seen. While this might seem like a nuisance, it is a huge advantage because how this one word, this one line of the code can save you so much bundles. And as you can see, it all just works. It works very easily. And now obviously, Subatomic JS isn't simply just to create client-side apps. It's supposed to be good to create full-stack apps. And while it is extremely easy to create UIs, as can be seen on the demo page with the tutorial on how to do this all, there's obviously a lot of stuff you can do with a server. For example, if you want to have stuff fetched on the server, you just need to create a function that will return the variables and accept it. and all you have to do is make sure you put in the middleware, and then you can easily just reference it through the UI. And yeah, Subatomic JS, pretty intuitive and pretty similar to React, but not nearly as complicated. It gets the SEO, the SSR, and those speed benefits that React doesn't always have. It makes it a great full stack framework. Now, I'd be an idiot to say that Subatomic JS is perfect, because there's still a lot of stuff we have to work on, but if you want to, you can always check out the project on GitHub, and hopefully you use it. And it's just another JavaScript framework on the block that hopefully will actually get popular and people will use.